Hi, I'm Rob from Funflix. I'm going to show you how to set up the audio-visual system. What?
You sound like you might as well be.
Hi, I'm Rob from Funflix. I'm going to show you how to do a full audio-visual setup. Set up my projection table. Now the placement of this is going to vary depending on what screen you have. You kind of get used to where each one goes. But typically we do projection from the rear. It'll be back here. All right. I'll go ahead and get my gearbox out. So take off the back. Throw it with the deads. The deads are just empty cases, etc. Anything I'm not using. Alright, go ahead and put my projector case here, kind of scope it out, and see if I'm ballpark in the right spot. I'll tell you what, I missed the detail. I was focused on making a video and not doing my screen setup, so I'm going to make sure this is on before I do this. I have to work kind of quick here. So, go ahead and boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo, plug her in. There we go. And we're okay. Stuff like that happens. Alright, we'll go ahead and get the cables out that we need. Alright. Right here we're plugging in the power conditioner that everything else is plugged into. Go ahead and put the speakers in position. In my case, I don't have two matching speakers that are working, so I've had to grab the working speaker from each set that I have. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the speakers in position. This event is gonna have a lot of kids, so I'm not gonna put them on the speaker stands, you know, kind of the side or out front at all. What I'm gonna do is put them back here. So I'll lay them face down like that. Get my other speaker. All right. And then I'm gonna connect the wires. So I'll go ahead and throw this power cable back to the speaker power. So that part goes there. And then we plug into the surge protector right here. There we go. The ground on that has been plugged to, or cut to prevent any kind of ground hum happening. So now the speakers are in position and I'm gonna grab the cables I need. I need two IC power cables, pretty typical cables, and two XLR cables. These are balanced.
Okay, show me those cables and explain what they are.
So this is what the power cable looks like. So this is what the power cable looks like. I like to use these little cable cuffs. You know, sometimes like if I'm in the studio, I like to use the Velcro wrap. But out here with the gloves and the cable sometimes getting dirty, etc., it's just easier to handle those. So I'll go ahead and plug in the speakers, get power happening here. Plugs right in the back. Pretty intuitive, you can't do it the wrong way. And plug in the other one. Plug it in, plug it in. There we go. All right, so this is an XLR cable. This is for the audio. It's a balanced cable. So basically less noisy than a 1/4 inch would be. So this is the male end. It's got the pokey things coming out. So you plug it into the female end.
Start over. And quit doing, this is the pokey end. I need you to
Oh.
hold it still. So
Oh, okay.
I can see what it is.
All right, so this is our XLR cable. It's a balanced cable, which just means it's less noisy, less prone to being noisy. And so this is the male end of the XLR cable. It's got pokey things coming out. So you're gonna go ahead and plug it in to the female jack. You know, if you try to plug it in there, it's not gonna work. So just put it in the female jack and hold this so it doesn't tug on that jack right there, and pull it out. And then you can just toss this to front of house, your projection table, just like that. And then you're gonna go ahead and do the same to the other speaker. It's kind of cool that these two cables are different colors, and it makes it easy to differentiate which side is which. All right, so they're connected. All right, here's a little tip from experience. If you have a real big crowd and you need to pump a lot of volume, it's wise to go ahead and turn the lows down in your speaker. So it says low, 80 hertz, because low end audio requires a lot more power. You can turn that down. A lot of times these speakers have maybe too much bottom end than you want. You know, between 180 hertz and 300 hertz is way too much. So you want to make sure EQ is on. That would be the fully depressed switch position. So just kind of like that. And level, I just leave it at unity gain, which is straight up. All right. And so that one's set. I'm gonna flip it up. This is my left speaker. I like to run things in stereo. So I'll do the same with this one. A little different control. But yeah, turn the lows down. It's on. That's the depressed position. You see the power LED indicator there. So just flip it up, and now we're ready to go. And we won't have speakers falling on little kiddos because they're down on the ground. So it's a very safe way to do it. So we'll go ahead at this point and plug the XLR cables in. This one is my stage left, or my house left. So I will come in here and let the videographer see what's going on here. So what we have here is a line mixer. So basically you just want to look and see a main out, left and right. So those are your main left and out connectors. And so this is house left. We're going to plug it in right there. Make sure it's secure. Those are locking jacks for the XLR, so that makes it easy. And grab the other XLR cable. And this one goes in the other one, the house right, main right. All right, it's in there. And while you're back here, you can kind of just make sure the other plugs seem to be in all the way, because sometimes in transit they can come loose. So that's HDMI cable. So on the bottom we have the Blu-ray player. It has a HDMI cable. Some setups are a little bit different, but there's our audio coming out of there, and it feeds channels 1 and 2, which makes sense, the primary purpose of this thing. And then we have, I carry around a little iPod with me, You know, some folks use their phone, that's fine too, but you might get beeps or a call or something. So yeah, that's plugged into channels 3 and 4. So it's good to confirm where that is. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this top unit right here is for the wireless microphones, in case somebody wants to use that. So usually when I do all that, I've got it up like this because it makes it real easy to see inside and make all those connections. So yeah, I have it on its face. All right, with the lid on, the rack lid on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. And I always put the logoed lid on the front. That way I know which side the front is without opening the case. So that helps me out. All right, so taking a look at the front, you can go ahead and turn on your power conditioner right there. It's the top unit.
Hold on. Gotta change the FFs.
Okay. So taking a look at the rack, you can go ahead and turn it on, turn on the power conditioner. At our event tonight, we don't need the wireless microphone, so we're not going to use that. Take a look at the line mixer. You should see green LEDs here.
Wait, you need to start over. You're moving and doing this. Like, I need you to slow down and
Oh,
point
okay.
to one thing, explain what it is, and quit moving your hands so much.
All right.
Okay.
All right. In the second rack position, we have the wireless microphone receiver. And we're not going to use that tonight, but that's for if they want to make announcements, etc. In the third rack position, we have the line mixer. And you should see these green LEDs light up, like if you push on, just to confirm that there's power there. Blu-ray player here on the bottom, fourth rack position. You can see if it's on just by ejecting it, and it's on. We got power. So at this point, we'll go ahead and get the projector out. And I've got some extra goodies in this pack here, but these sometimes, anything like that can be helpful in adjusting your projector, how it needs to be. This particular projector has these little feet here. You can screw or unscrew and get everything level.
Yeah, I'm rolling. Okay, go.
All right, so this is my toolbox where I carry batteries and whatnot. I've got my iPod in here. I carry just an iPod with my pack, and I've got a headlamp. My headlamp is crucial for teardown because it's so dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out my iPod. And the cool thing about this one, it's not a phone, so it's not gonna beep or interrupt anything, and it's not a CD that you have to stick in the Blu-ray player. So if you run around with an iPod, especially this one is 160 gigs, so I can hold all kinds of stuff like holiday music, like Christmas or Halloween. I've always got that kind of stuff on here for all the gigs I go to, and then of course like top 40 hits and that kind of stuff. And so I can go ahead and test the audio with my iPod, make sure everything's happening.
This is a really tight shot, so you need to not move around so much.
Gotcha. Let me come over here.
Like when you're talking, I can just see right
Okay. So, yeah, this is my stereo 1/8" connector for computers, iPods, iPhones, all that kind of stuff. So, go ahead and plug that in. And go ahead and
Can you show me where it was plugged in up front?
what's that?
In here?
Oh, in here? Yep. So it's always good to check your signal flow, outputs to inputs, source to destination, typical troubleshooting stuff. So this is an 1/8" stereo cable to XLR male. And so it's in channel 3 and 4 of the line mixer. Once that's all plugged in, go ahead and test it out. And so I've got the master volume down so I don't make any like loud clicks or pops happen to the speakers. You want to try to protect the speakers as much as you can. So I've got my audio rolling from my iPod. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the master volume and just make sure my speakers are good to go. All right, so I've got the iPod music going, and now I'm going to make sure my line mixer is set appropriately. So as you saw when I was back there, I made sure that the iPod was plugged into channel 3 and 4 of the line mixer. So we've got 3, 4 right here. I'm gonna go ahead and route those to the mixer, which is basically, in our terms, turning them on. I'm gonna turn up the level of each channel to 0. I like to call that unity gain, but we'll just say 0. And then take a look at the balance pan. If you want to run it in stereo, you can make those hard left, hard right. And then so we've got that audio coming through. You can see the LEDs that we have some signal coming in. So okay, let's take a look over here. We have the mixer, main output level. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn that up, and inconveniently our music just stopped. But you can see the LEDs going there. And so I'll just kind of make sure that both speakers are working. Yeah. All right, so house right is working, but house left, something's up. I'm gonna troubleshoot that. Yeah, I don't have anything on this speaker. I have power. I'm gonna check my XLR connection and make sure that my level is turned up. We're good there. So the problem lies back here. Make sure this cable is plugged in well. Main out left, yeah, it's secure. Looking up front, I see signal there on channel 3 and 4. Turning the mixer up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off channel 3. Or sorry, channel 4. Huh? And so now we're just taking a look at the left speaker. As you notice, as I pan that right, it's going to that other speaker that's working. So that right, house right speaker. So it would appear that we just have a bad XLR cable. So what we want to do is just pan both channels straight up and down. That way you're not going to hear, just guitar or just keyboard. Everything's going to be routed to the one speaker. So, and this kind of stuff happens, You have a bad XLR cable, bad speaker, you have to adapt. And so we've done that. We've got audio going. So we're all set until it gets dark. And once it gets, maybe 20 or 15 minutes before sunset, we'll go ahead and come back out here and get the projector set up. Until then, we're going to pack this away and try to keep it cool. If we can take it inside, that's great. But anyhow, yeah, I think we're all set, and we'll just we'll come back out here when it's time to go. We're going to go ahead and set up the projector. What you've got coming out of the back of the rack case here is normal IC power cable and an HDMI cable. This has got the video signal. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the power cable right here. And then the HDMI cable we'll plug in right here. All right, make sure those are good and secure. And then turn on the power to the projector and let that go ahead and warm up and around about sunset, we'll come back out here and show you how to go ahead and frame it in. All right, guys, so we're ready to get everything connected and fired up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. You're gonna put the power plug right there. HDMI cable is gonna plug in right there where it says HDMI, right above there. So let me go ahead and do that. Go ahead and power it on there. And you know, I had a minute to find a workaround for that, you know, that bad XLR cable, and I couldn't find another XLR cable, but I've got another cable where if I just put the system in mono, I can daisy chain the two speakers. So the one speaker has a 1/4" output, so I can plug that into that. From the source speaker to the destination speaker, they'll have the XLR input. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to grab my iPod and we'll give that a go and see if we can get. All right, so I've got my iPod here. Cool thing about this is I can do a volume fade out right before the movie starts, so I can kind of do a crossfade between the iPod music and the movie music. So let's go ahead and test that other speaker. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and grab this other cable. It's a 1/4" male to XLR female. Yeah. Oh, sorry guys. And the through is the XLR cable here. So, the XLR connector here. So on this particular speaker it says link output. I'll plug that female right there. And then, no 1/4" input on this one. So what I'm gonna do is just reverse that, and this will be a good way to check this XLR cable. See if it is in fact just the cable. I'm turning this speaker off first. Plug it in. All right. And then just in case this scenario works with this speaker, I'm going to go ahead and plug that in the through. So it's coming out of this speaker, and it's passing through to the input over here, 1/4". Yeah, I'll turn that on. Got the power light, that's good. Oh, so that's cool. It passively goes through without this one even being powered up. That's cool. I didn't know that speaker did that. That's cool. You never know if they're going to be passive or active as far as the throughput. And this speaker's a little more bass heavy than the other one, so I'll try to match them a little bit. At this point, I'd crank up the speakers, how they'd be movie volume level, make sure everything's tuned in properly. So I got my speakers working. I can kind of get an overall perspective of how I'm gonna have the movie at the end of the day. I'm gonna use this little stand here, just part of the case, the inside of the case. You just use what's available. And I think I can get it the rest of the way with this back right foot. I'm just unscrewing it. And then as a general rule, we like to upper justify this. I don't know if that's a commonly used term, but anyhow, they just make the image at the top of the screen. So, we'll do our best here. So I'll go ahead and have it there and load the Blu-ray or DVD, and we'll get it focused in. I'm actually getting the Blu-ray from the client right now. So I've got the Blu-ray. I'm gonna go ahead and load it. They decided to watch Inception, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in and get the DVD remote out. So I can skip to a later scene. I try to look for somebody's eyeball, like. So we're gonna go to the menu. All right, so it's backwards to me. We can tell already. So now it's going to be correct on the other side, the viewing side. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to scene selection and go to something with enough light to really tell. Looks like there might be a person in there where I can focus into their eyeballs. Generally, and this comes from my background with photography, like you can find somebody's eyeball and focus to that, and then the general focus will be good for the movie. That's the subject, and these are good frames right here to focus to, but there's still too much ambient light. All right, I'm just gonna use this frame right here when it gets dark enough. All right, so we got both speakers working. Okay, so there's our music right there. What I want to show you is we have it at unity gain for both channels, and then straight up and down. So it's not fully left, not fully right, right down the middle. That would mean, it would go to the left and right speakers. But in this case, we've only got the left channel coming out of the mixer. So basically what that means is when your pan settings are straight up and down, if it's your right speaker, if it's your left speaker, it's going to be the same exact signal to each channel. So in this case, we only have the left out, the left main out happening. It's just daisy chained from one speaker to the next. So pass it through there, and it's a mono setup there. And so just going ahead and preparing for the movie. We're straight up and down. And here in a second, we'll test the audio for the movie. But typically, like, again, unity gain. So we'll give it just a second to get dark enough to really get that focused in. All right, so I think it's dark enough for us to get focused in here. I'm gonna go ahead and back it up to where I saw Leo on the airplane here. All right, so now, yeah, I'm just gonna take a look at his eyeball and make sure that is in focus. You can always typically see like a light reflecting on the eyeball, and it makes it like pretty easy, even in low light, to be able to focus. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, and we've got the widescreen going on, so Full screen looked fine before, but now this is a bit low. I'm gonna raise it up. So I'm using the door stoppers now that I have on hand, and a couple for either side. And kind of short on just the one side. Kind of funny, but sometimes you can use a DVD case or just whatever you have in your pack. Yeah. So that shot right there is looking pretty good. I'll roll a little bit of that audio. I'm gonna keep my music going, but roll a little bit of that audio because it's probably just dialogue right there. Okay. So I'm good there. I've got the audio going. Seems like I had a decent level, so I think I'm good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it back to the main menu, and we'll play from scene 1. Scene selection, go to the first scene. So we're basically queuing it up to the roll in here. Let me get started from there. Movie lot. So what I like to do typically, I like to do a nice transition between the music and the movie. So basically the gist is you're gonna fade out on your iPod or your device, and then you're gonna go ahead, and since the movie is paused, you're gonna go ahead and engage channels 1 and 2. Just turn them on. Okay, so that you'll be ready. And then when you decide it's dark enough or the client says it's time to go, you go ahead and push play on the movie. Pushing play. And then kind of once you start to see audio from the movie happening, you can fade out your iPod or your device, your music playback device. And you can kind of, on my iPod, I just go counterclockwise on the thumb wheel, and then I go clockwise on the main volume. That makes a nice transition. Typically, the Blu-ray audio or the DVD audio is mastered at a lower level than just CD or MP3 audio. Like it depends on what it is, but it's like a 12 dB difference, 12 to 20. All right, and now we're rolling. It's movie time. And so at this point, I'll go in front of the screen, you know, scope out the audience, make sure no one's like holding their ears, like it's too loud, you know, stuff like that. Just getting a feel for how everyone's enjoying the film. Everybody's happy. It sounds good to me. I can hear the dialogue all right. So, everybody's enjoying the movie. So, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it right there with them while I serve popcorn. Hi, I'm Rob from Funflix. I'm gonna show you how to tear down. Let's use different terminology. All right, now let's take a look at how to pack up the AV equipment at the end of the night. All right, so the movie is about to come to a close, and I will show you how to tear it down. Here in a second, the film is gonna finish, and basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna let like the first you know, song, the exit music, you know, where people would be exiting the theater. I'll let that play on with the credits, and then I will go ahead and just turn off the projector, but let the second song continue to play. So I'll turn the projector off and put it in its case and secure it while letting the music play. And then I'll tear the rest down. I'll show you exactly how that happens here in a second. Okay, so we'll just pretend for time's sake that that song just finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and power off the projector. So it's powered down. Go ahead and unplug it. Music is still playing, that's nice. It's kind of like a hard, okay guys, party's over, you know, kind of vibe killer if you just turn it all off at once. I like to ease them into it a little bit. So typically, like, yeah, on that second tune, I will go ahead and so on the second tune I'll like start to fade out, and then maybe 15-30 seconds later fade it the rest of the way and then turn it off. So I'm gonna fade it, letting y'all know it's coming. Okay, fade out. Alright. Stop the Blu-ray, eject. And then you can set it aside or go ahead and give it back to the client. Whew. What a film. Projector's done. I tend to throw stuff to the back, kind of like in a completed pile. And so we got the DVD. I'll go ahead and put the remote in the bag here. Then I'll go ahead and grab the front rack case lid, throw that on there right after I hit the power switch. The front lid on. That way I can put it face down and just have easy visibility on the back as I unplug stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the speakers off first. Just protecting the speakers. Turn it off, unplug the cables. Same over here. Turn it off, unplug the cables. Alright, go ahead and put my speakers in the completed pile here. They're ready to pack up and put in the car pile. Whew. Alright, just like that. Alright, so now I can go ahead and unplug my rack, unplug my XLR cables, put everything that belongs in the rack back in the rack, cables. So I'll take the other case lid, throw it on there. Again, this side, the back side, where we make all the connections, is the side that I put the case lid that doesn't have the logo. That's just something I've been doing for many years now with rack gear, rack cases. Front's gonna have the logo on that case lid. So I like these, this one's called a MIG cuff, but these cable management systems are very easy to use with just gloves. You know, I use Velcro when I'm in the studio and in a kind of a controlled environment, but out here the cables get dirty and it's just the easiest thing. Doesn't use fine motor skills, it's more of a gross motor skill. All right. So I'm actually gonna take this XLR cable and show you how I wrap it. I've got my special cable in here, and I've got two power cables, two IEC power cables. I'm gonna wrap these just like I do the XLR. So here in a second, I'm gonna show you how to wrap the XLR, and it'll apply to those. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this cable. All the power extension cables I wrap this way. They're real heavy gauge, so they can take it, but just use the old arm method. Hey, try not to get dizzy. Oh, my arms are dizzy. All right. And if you've got one of these clippy things, now would be a good time to utilize it. There we go. I'll save that for the other extension cable. And yeah, I think now would be a good time to show you the XLR cable. So you can go ahead and move my camera. I'll just move the one camera. All right, yeah. So got my XLR cable. And like I say, you're going to wrap this cable and the other XLR cable and the two IEC power cables like this. So you're going to take one end, male or female. Some people have a preference about this, but it doesn't much matter for this gig, I don't think. So I'm going to take this end, and the gender is going to face me like the end of it. All right, so I'm going to hold it like that. And then I'm going to do what's called the over-under for cable wrapping. So first thing is I'm going to put my hand over the cable, and I'm going to kind of turn my hand so that it kind of naturally makes a circle. And then I'm going to put my hand under. So that's an easy way to think about what you have to do physically to make the over-under of the cable happen. So if your hand goes over, the cable goes over. If your hand goes under, the cable goes under. And so it looks like this cable hasn't always been wrapped that way, so it's going to have like some funny little twists. But if you wrap your cable like this consistently from when you purchase it, it's always going to like throw out straight, and it's just going to be a lot easier to manage. This isn't the only way to do it. Like, I've also worked in live sound where you use one of those cable spindles where you just roll it up and you can link together the XLRs, and you know, depending on lengths, you can have multiple XLR cables on one of those spindles. But this is the over-under approach for cable wrapping, and then I'm gonna clip it with one of those orange clippy thingies.